This is a video that realistically I could have made months ago. Um, but after the Manchester City game, it has to be made. Arne Slot, Richard Hughes, and Michael Edwards are ruining Liverpool's future. Champions League is pretty much done this season. Liverpool are not going to be playing in the Champions League next season after spending £450 million on incomings. The style of football is terrible. The fans are bored of it. The fans want him out. The atmosphere is really flat at Anfield, even in the big games now. It's very difficult for Liverpool to have a comfortable game all season. They've struggled against 9 men. The list goes on. Arne Slot is breaking records that shouldn't be broken, and with the team that Liverpool have, should not be in this place. But it isn't just him to blame. He is the main reason, of course, but Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes should have sacked him or backed him in the transfer window. These problems don't just stem from the last few months, and even just from this season. The problems with Arne Slot's football actually started around February time. So, first of all, before we get into it fully, do like this video if you enjoy it. It's going to be an episode where it's an emergency episode because, like I said, I'm making it on short notice. It's if you guys have seen me, I'm obviously a very negative Liverpool fan, very reactionary, but this is getting ridiculous every single week. I don't want to watch Liverpool play because it works me up. I'm turning into my old self in terms of how Liverpool play, where anyone says something and I'm fucking pissed off and I don't like it. Yeah, we can lose games, that's fine, but we lose them under Jurgen Klopp, fine. Lose them under this guy, no, not acceptable because Jurgen Klopp never got £450 million in one transfer window. So we're going to start with last season's problems, the PSG game, and this guy still talks about the PSG game every fucking press conference, and I'm sick and tired of it. I can't listen to his press conferences anymore because all he talks about is PSG this, PSG that. It's embarrassing. It's actually embarrassing. He needs to just get over it because the Liverpool fans have, the players have, he can't. We wouldn't have won that fucking competition anyway because Aston Villa would have knocked us out in the quarterfinals because we would have got steamrolled at Villa Park. The only reason that Liverpool won the Premier League last season, the main reason, was because of Mohamed Salah. 47 goal contributions or something, I believe he got something like that out of this world. This season he's on 9. He's dropped off massively. I've never seen Salah this bad. Unfortunately for me, Mohamed Salah is my favourite ever footballer. I don't think there'll be another footballer that I love as much as Mohamed Salah. But his time at Liverpool is up. He does need to leave in the summer. If we get 40 million from the Saudis, we need to accept that. Our wingers are terrible. Cody Gakpo is one of the worst wingers I've ever seen play for Liverpool. They're our starting wingers, by the way, and they're absolutely terrible. We have some of the worst wing partnership in the league. You look at Man City, they've got Semenyo, Doku, they've got Cherki, Marmoush that can play there, type of thing. Arsenal, Martinelli, maybe not as good, but they've got Saka. You know, they've got good wingers. Um, these teams, our main threat last season was a winger, and now that he's not playing anywhere near to the standard, and Mohamed Salah did drop off around March time. Like, let's make that clear. He did drop off around March time, but I expected him to be firing this season. That just hasn't happened. And honestly, it's Champions League is gone next season, and I think Mohamed Salah is gone as well. But like I said, this started last season. After the PSG, the Carabao Cup final against Newcastle, all we did is try and play to Salah. He's getting double, triple marked. We did nothing. We lost the game, and rightly so. The zonal marking on the corner, it's just absolutely stupid. It doesn't work. Dan Burn up against McAllister. What is the Liverpool cannot do set pieces. They haven't been able to do them this season either. It just makes no sense. No sense. But not just that, even games that Liverpool won in the Premier League to win the Premier League last season. Now, don't get me wrong, last season was amazing. Of course it was. I never thought it would happen. But that's in the past now. We have to look at the present and the future. And at this moment in time for Liverpool, it's very dark. Not compared to like a club that's actually in proper like Sheffield Wednesday, for example. I'm not comparing the situation. I'm just on about more of the business sense for Liverpool here, financially, the amount of money they're going to miss out on, type of thing. Okay, just so people are aware of that. I'm not saying that there's a crisis or anything, but the amount of money they're going to lose in the future is a lot. So, Liverpool versus Wolves at Anfield. 2-0 going into half time. Pretty good. The second half, Liverpool don't have a shot at home against Wolves, and Wolves should have got a draw. Wolves were around 15th, 16th at this time under Vitor Pereira. Embarrassing. And then the West Ham game, Liverpool 1-0, and then West Ham, they just sit back and let West Ham attack them. And then a massive calamity from Van Dijk and Robertson, 1-1. Van Dijk manages to make up for it with a late winner. Ultimately, Liverpool then win the Premier League. They play Leicester at the King Power Stadium, who are going to be relegated. It takes a very late goal from former Liverpool player Trent Alexander-Arnold to stop that from happening, and then obviously Liverpool win the Premier League. Now, obviously the players were celebrating, the manager was celebrating after winning the Premier League. I still wanted results. I wanted a high points tally. Didn't happen. We didn't win a single game after we beat Spurs. And people thought that that was fine. I didn't. Is that because I'm only wanting Liverpool to win? Yeah, of course. But the performances weren't good enough. But going into obviously the summer window, you're thinking, sign a few players, and then hopefully they'll be even stronger next season. Obviously expecting a few players to leave. Obviously what happened with Jota was horrible, and has, yes, some players definitely might have underperformed because of it at the start of the season. That's fine. Like, some people take longer to grieve than others, but by February, the performances aren't getting any better. That's not, in this instance, this just isn't important to the situation that I'm talking about. So, we're going to this transfer window because we're going to literally, it feels like we're doing like a whole chronological timeline here, but we needed new players. We looked at the situation, we needed a new striker. Obviously, then what happened? We needed two strikers, or one, and we keep Nunes. But the first player that we're going to talk about, obviously, is going to be Florian Wirtz, who for 100 million plus 16 million in add-ons, which at this moment in time, these add-ons will not get hit, okay? Because we had to win the Premier League or Champions League 4 times during his stay at Liverpool. 4 million for each time one's won. Not happening. Florian Wirtz has had a pretty good run of form recently, actually, in January and a bit of December. He's got better. He has got better, Florian Wirtz. And I do like him. But I bet he's regretting joining Liverpool because he could have joined Bayern Munich instead. Be having a good Champions League run, winning the Bundesliga. You know, linking up with Musiala, Elise, Harry Kane. Instead, he has to link up with Cody Gakpo and a really, really out of form Mohamed Salah. Like, it's not what he signed up for. And yeah, it took him a while to adapt, and there was times where he frustrated me a lot because I felt like he wouldn't shoot and that. But he's got better now, and you know, he's an important part of the team. But a superstar player like Florian Wirtz should not be playing Europa League, Europa Conference League next season. No, he's a Champions League quality player. Now, I get that there's other people like that, like Bruno Fernandes, for example. Yeah, he'll be playing Champions League next season, but he's a world-class player, Bruno Fernandes. I don't like the guy, but he's world-class. He should be playing Champions League every single season, especially at his age. He's 31 now, I think. You know, he's only probably going to have a few years left at the top level. He needs to be playing Champions League every single season. Obviously, he almost went to Saudi Arabia in the summer. So Wirtz comes in, brilliant. Before that, though, we obviously have Jeremy Frimpong. Trent Alexander-Arnold leaves Liverpool. We expected this. Yes, Liverpool have missed Trent Alexander-Arnold's creativity. But then again, would it have made such an impact on the team this season compared to other seasons? I don't think so because of how shit our attack is. You know, now that Wirtz is playing well, it's between Wirtz and Ekitike to get the goals. But we signed Frimpong. He's had a couple of good seasons at Leverkusen. Barely got injured. He's had 3 injuries at Liverpool. Now, look, before his recent injury, he was playing well. I think he's a good player, but he's injury prone. So is Connor Bradley. And that's why we're having to play Szoboszlai at right back, because they didn't sign a right back in the January window. Szoboszlai gets sent off against Man City, so we have to play another midfielder because he won't trust Calvin Ramsey, because Arne Slot does not trust his youth players. Why did Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards not get a right back? They tried to go for Gertrude, wouldn't happen. They didn't have a plan B. It's not acceptable. It's not acceptable. We signed Milos Kerkez as a left back. I've wanted Milos Kerkez for a long time. Happy with that. Yeah, he struggled to start with, but I think he's been really good recently, and he's Liverpool's starting left back for the foreseeable future. Fine. Then we sign Ekitike. Again, I wanted Ekitike. He's been very good. Not brilliant, very good. He's been a bit inconsistent, but he's still a young player. I like him a lot. He's done better than I thought he would in his first season at Liverpool. Hopefully, he'll be one of the Liverpool starting forwards for a long time. Then we move on to Giovanni Leone. Look, this is no one's fault that he does his ACL on his debut, but with how bad Kanate had been playing recently, he would have started with Van Dijk. I'm convinced, because I think Leone is that good. Obviously, hopefully he'll be okay for pre-season, so we can have him back in pre-season, and then he gets pre-season under his belt and he's ready to play in the Premier League. With Van Dijk and whoever else is there, we'll obviously talk about the new signing very soon. And then we talk about Isak, of course. Look, Isak has not worked out so far, but he's had a few goals. Obviously, he's injured at the moment. He's been injured for a bit. He's obviously got a bad injury. He should be back around April-ish time. Liverpool won't have anything to play for, but hopefully he can get a few goals, get into the spirit, ready for next season. He didn't expect this to happen. None of the players that have joined Liverpool expected to not be in the Champions League next year. No one did. No one thought Liverpool would finish outside the top 5. No one. Even I predicted them to win the Premier League, even though I wasn't sure about Arne Slot still. I thought, well, the team's got better. Not the case now. Outgoings is the important one because we have to talk about Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz wanted to leave Liverpool, okay, but we didn't replace him. And there was journalists writing, "Oh, Engamoa's pathway, Engamoa's pathway." Fucking Arne Slot does not play Engamoa. He doesn't play him. So like, what are we actually talking about here? He doesn't play him. So we're stuck with fucking Gakpo, who's absolutely shit, by the way. Shit. And Salah, who's finished. Because the other fucking wingers are Chiesa and Engamoa, who Slot does not play. Why have we got such bad wingers? Why didn't we even sign one in January? Semenyo was there. You know, yeah, he chose Man City, but why didn't we even go in for him? Like, it's just crazy. And we have to talk about Mark Gahey as well quickly. Obviously, he got booed against Liverpool yesterday. Not fair. It wasn't his fault Crystal Palace pulled out of the deal last second. He was having his medical to join Liverpool. He's gone to City in January because Liverpool weren't interested. He's on 300 grand a week, and he's picked the right club to join because who the fuck wants to play under Arne Slot right now? Who? Who wants to play under a manager that has boring football and can't fucking win? The mentality midgets, we're going to call them. There is no mentality in this team anymore. It's a disgrace. Yeah, the first 5 games of the season, Liverpool were shit, but managed to somehow win late on every single time. Or hold on, a win. The Bournemouth game, the Newcastle game. By the way, Liverpool were 2-0 up, Newcastle had 10 men, and Newcastle dominated them. It's embarrassing. I don't care if it's at St James's Park or at fucking anywhere. I don't care where it is, it's embarrassing. Embarrassing. Why haven't they sacked him? Genuinely. This is the thing. John Henry is not going to be happy with this because the club is going to lose about £100 million by not being in the Champions League next season, roughly. That's how much money Liverpool are going to lose. More than £100 million, to be honest. But no, it's fine. We're going to keep Slot because of something he did in the past. Embarrassing. Embarrassing. Stubbornness. Stubbornness gets you nowhere in life. It's a disgrace. So Luis Diaz leaves. He's done brilliant. We didn't replace him. We still haven't replaced him. Quansah leaves. Yeah, Quansah had a bad season under Slot. Slot threw him under the bus on his first game. He didn't trust players enough. He doesn't rotate enough, and that's why we're getting injuries, and the team are knackered after 60 minutes. Our squad depth is shit anyway, because we didn't sign enough players. We sold too many players. He didn't give Tyler Morton a chance. He's balling it out in Ligue 1 right now for Lyon. Embarrassing. I'd have him in the squad straight away. Not maybe in the starting 11, but I'd have him in the squad. Quansah goes. Simicast goes on loan, that's fine. Trent leaves, obviously. Trent and Diaz wanted to leave, that's different. Nunes leaves, probably for the best, to be honest. But we're just stuck with a shit manager, shit tactics, and a shit squad depth. Look, I genuinely believe if everyone's fit, Liverpool are have the best team in the league. I still genuinely believe that. Until now. I don't believe it anymore because of the wingers. The wingers. And I think we miss a proper defensive midfielder. Man City have a Rodri. Arsenal have a Zubamendi. Aston Villa have a, when fit, an Arne or Boubacar Kamara. We don't have that. Gravenberch is not a defensive midfielder, and he's very inconsistent this season. The only consistent player this season for Liverpool has been Dominic Szoboszlai. He's been great pretty much every single game he's played. And his free kick against Man City was out of this world. He should be the captain of the club when Van Dijk leaves. Now, I don't think Van Dijk's had a bad season as well, but he won't leave the club in the summer, and I don't want him to. We now signed Jeremy Jacquet in January for 60 million, including add-ons. Crazy money for a kid that's not played that many games. He then goes and gets a shoulder injury at the weekend and is now probably going to miss the rest of the season with Rennes, which would have been great experience for him to keep playing consistent games of professional football before he joins Liverpool. Shocking. He's going to be, for me, it'll be Van Dijk and Xhaka as the centre-backs next season, with Leone and a new backup, because Joe Gomez is injured all the time. I think we'll sell him and get a homegrown centre-back. What are we doing? Why are we signing players for the future? Pua Xhaka is not going to have Champions League football next season. He probably was expecting that. Not going to happen. So we're going to talk about this season. Yeah, we got lucky at the start to be 15 points. We've won 6 games since September in the Premier League. 6 games. No other top club would have kept their manager by now. I was shocked that Man United kept Ruben Amorim for so long. I was shocked that Spurs kept Ange Postecoglou for that long. But he won them a trophy in the end of the season. We're not going to... Brighton will knock us out the FA Cup. Whoever we play in the last 16 or maybe last 8 are going to knock us out of the Champions League. Unless this manager's changed. Look at the Man United and Chelsea. New manager bounces. Michael Carrick, 4 wins out of 4. Liam Rosenior is doing a great job. The players absolutely love Liam Rosenior. They're going to play in the Champions League next season. Their fans are going to get to see them play the big teams, the Barças, the Real Madrids, whilst we're stuck playing Victoria Pleasant or no one. This is my problem. Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes are so stubborn, have not sacked Arne Slot. They've put PR videos of him round the table, bullshit, talking about how good last year was. How about fucking think about this year? Because genuinely, I'm going back to my old ways of being so fucking angry at everything because of this man on the screen right now and Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes. Canate will be gone in the summer. No money earned. Brilliant. Robertson, gone in the summer. No money earned. But Robertson's a different situation. That's sound. Simmercast will come in. We'll have a backup left back that isn't even starting in Serie A for Roma. Jacquet will need experience. And he's not going to get that now because he's hurt his shoulder. Leone doesn't have the experience either. I don't know what... But I want Jacquet to be the starting centre. We haven't spent 60 million on a backup centre-back either. He is going to be the starting centre-back with Van Dijk. And then when Van Dijk leaves in 2027, it'll be Leone, Jacquet, and then 2 backups. Quansah could be back in the team by then. We'll have to see. But the games this season are boring. They're bland. We have no mentality. We concede every fucking time. We're tied for the most 90+ goals conceded this season already, and we're in February. It's going to be broken, the record. The mentality of this team is a disgrace. The team is a disgrace. Salah going on a bust up. Yeah, I despise Arne Slot, but why did Salah have to do that now? I look at it. Salah's not been playing good enough to be in the team. Yeah, he might have credit in the bank and a lot of credit in the bank. But we're not going to get I mean, there's no one else now. He's not going to play Chiesa. He's not going to play Rio. Salah will start every game for the rest of the season pretty much, and then he'll leave in the summer. It's an absolute mess. It's an absolute mess. And the fact that the club, he should have been sacked in November. We lost 9 games out of 12. Nottingham Forest, who were fucking pawny, beat us 3-0 at Anfield. They made us look like these teams are making us look like a League 2 team right now. A League 2 team. You've got fucking PSV Eindhoven, 4-1. We lose 4-1 at Anfield to PSV. How is that fucking acceptable? How is that acceptable? Honestly, just no one. How the fuck is this acceptable at Liverpool Football Club? It's not. It's not acceptable at fucking many clubs, this. It's a disgrace. It's an absolute disgrace. Look at Leicester. They won the league. Then they had a shit season. So they sacked Claudio Ranieri. Yeah, they didn't want to, but they did for the benefit of the club. But no, Richard Hughes and Arne Slot obviously have got some sort of like romance going on, because why the fuck is he still at the club? It pisses me off. Making this video is pissing me off, but I have to get my points across. I expect us to lose every single game. If I ever predict us to win, we don't fucking win. I thought, oh, we're going to beat Burnley. We can't even beat Burnley at home. We get a 94th minute penalty to beat them away. We can't beat Leeds. We can't beat Sunderland. We can't beat Nottingham Forest. We almost draw to 10 men West Ham. We almost fucking draw against 9 men Spurs. But he keeps his job. He's laughing after the press. There's a smile on his face after the press conference after we lose to Man City after an interview with Sky Sports. What the fuck are you doing? What the actual fuck do you think you're doing, Arne Slot? You get paid a shit ton of money to produce this fucking dross of football after getting all that money spent on you in the summer. Jurgen Klopp would have died for that money. He would have died for signing players like Wirtz and fucking Isak and shit like that. And this is what the fucking sort of football is that you provide for the Liverpool fans. And no wonder the fans are sick of watching the football. They've given up on the season. They've given up on trying to get Champions League football. It's done. It's done. We had to win because we're not going to beat Sunderland. No, they haven't lost at all season at the Stadium of Light in the Premier League. Not going to happen. That'll be more points that Chelsea and Man United will gain, and Aston Villa will gain on Liverpool. It's done. They're battling for Europa League with Brentford, who I predicted to go down this season. That's how fucking dark the times are for Liverpool in terms of last season to this season. Would Europa League be a good idea for Liverpool? No. Best thing for Liverpool is to not have any European football at all next season. Or have Conference League and play the B team like Chelsea did. Conference League, that's fine. You get 6 games. We play the B team every single game up to the semi-finals where we go full strength. We have to do that if we get that. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. And Arne Slot should resign. Should hang his head in shame. But no, these Dutch people, they're very stubborn. All he'll do is talk about PSG, or they didn't have any in his. No, I'm sorry. I can't. Like I said before, I can't listen to his press conferences. But this point has just come back into my head, and it's fucking pissing me off. He said, "Oh, there's many games left yesterday." There was this quote. There's many games. 5 seconds later says there's not many games left. Make your fucking mind up. You're trembling. You're trembling. You're a disgrace, and you're ruining my fucking weekend again. Thanks, Arne. Thanks, Richard. Thanks, Michael. I appreciate it. The amount of money Liverpool are going to lose, they're going to lose over £100 million potentially in Champions League prize money next season. Fantastic, because they want to keep this crap Dutch manager. He's the worst manager to ever win the Premier League. He has no tactics. He has no plan B. His man management is fucking disgraceful. The Harvey Elliott situation is disgraceful from both parties. The way Joel Quansah and Tyler Morton, disgraceful. If he hadn't won the Premier League last season, he'd have been gone. No Champions League football for Liverpool. Players aren't going to want to join as much. Not as much money to spend in the summer. Probably won't even replace the wingers. We need fucking 3 wingers in the window. Bet you we won't even get any. Gakpo will stay. Salah will probably go. We'll get a shitty right winger that's got 5 goals in La Liga. And brilliant. All because we're looking at the fucking data. Superb. Thank you very much, Michael, Richard, and fucking Arne. Thank you for ruining the season and ruining Liverpool's future. Thank you for watching.